Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie.
Today we're reacting to a video of a clip on X. Mom shares her toddler came out as trans at just 18 months old. 18 months.
My car's still not working.
Do you remember anything from being 18 months old?
I'm just trying to think about how there's way more pressing issues in the world than gender ideology, and yet for some reason it's all people talk about.
You mean like us?
Of certain varieties. Yeah, but even not just us, like politics, a lot of politics. And then people, there's a lot of people that talk about it all the time. And I'm just like, so tired of all of it.
You know, people would have been fine with the trans thing if they didn't go after kids or women. If they would have left them alone.
Are you telling me something?
Everything would have been fine. Talking to them through
But I'm
you.
here, okay? I'm here with you guys.
Everyone would have been fine with that, but they started going after kids and getting all creepy and stuff, and then going to libraries and drag queens and taking off clothes and then dildo ring toss, and it all went bonkers. So let's listen to this very sane lady about her child saying that they're trans at 18 months. How can a freaking 18-month-old convince an adult woman that they're trans? Because the mom is crazy.
18 months is very young to be convincing a kid convincing their mother of anything.
They could barely speak.
That's what I'm saying. They don't know fully, like, words yet.
I remember that when I was a little kid, there was one of our friends had like a little sister, and we used to have her say bitch all the time. She had like a speech impediment, because most kids do when they're that age, and she would always mispronounce a word, and it would sound like bitch. And so that was our entertainment. And she was older than an 18-month-old.
Right.
So I don't know. People are crazy.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of this, right?
But you know what? She's probably a voice in her head. She's hearing voices.
Or she just wants attention like everybody else. Everybody who's doing this just wants it. Look at that face. That says, look at me. Black, trans, dignity. I bet you're married to a white man and your baby's white.
Yeah, these damn straight bitches.
And now you found something you can push an identity onto that you can just claim, not like black, not like Hispanic, not like gay, because those actually require, either being born some way or, being born some way, something that you can push onto someone at a young age. That's what you did. I don't even know who you are. I already know I hate when this happens because it gets under my skin to already know what you are, which is an attention whore.
Yeah. Usually white women who cling on to these causes, movements, they're pretty much walking flags saying, I have no purpose. I have nothing that's interesting about me except for this. Yeah. They probably don't have many friends either. They're probably just very sad, lonely, meaningless individuals. And this is why I'm for abortion, because I think some of these ladies should have been aborted a long time ago.
I mean, I also strongly believe that if you don't want your kid at any point, you're not going to be a good mother, so maybe you should just get rid of it. I don't think that I agree with late-term abortions at all. However, if a mother wants to get rid of their baby at any point, they're not going to be a good mother.
I think at that point it's abuse to go 9 months and then do the abortion thing.
I mean,
it's also really, really gross.
Is it messed up? Yes, but tell me that that's going to be a mom that cares for that baby. You think that mom's going to be respectful, put that baby up for adoption? You think they're going to sit there and abuse that kid at home?
At that point, it's like, well,
I'm not trying to
should
interrupt.
we end the life of something that is just about to be born?
Potential life, I would say.
Potential life, whatever. I mean,
would you end the potential?
I'm not like on this issue.
In my opinion, in my phrasing, I would say, would you end the potential for a full life because you're unsure of the mother's ability to do it? And to that, I'd say if the mother doesn't want to do it, she won't. And unless that baby's going up for adoption, the only other option I can see is abortion.
This is where it's very muddy in the water.
Am I wrong?
Well, because you're asking...
Hypothetically.
You're asking
you don't
the
have
question,
to agree morally.
You're asking the question, do we end the life of a potential human being who's just about to be born, or do we allow them to be born so they will be horrifically abused?
Either way.
Both outcomes are crap.
Yeah. So but that's the thing, is the mother that has that baby and keeps it, even though they don't want to, will have spite towards that baby.
Yeah, of course.
At the minimum. And the mother that puts that baby up for adoption, we can pray and really hope someone good gets that baby, but how many babies are in the adoption system?
Yeah, that's a whole mess of something.
And I'm not trying to say, oh, we know so much. But if you're asking me, maybe back in the days of the Bible when no one needed, like everyone needed kids, when everyone needed a farmhand, I get it. But nowadays, it's, in my opinion, more logical to allow an abortion, I'd say up until the end of the first trimester, maybe until like,
that's usually what people agree
when
on.
you can prove that they know and they've made a decision, like they have to make a decision before they're like 6 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant. That's my opinion. But also, I've never had this risk. I've never had this feeling. So a lot of people I know when they're pregnant. A very, very few don't know when they're pregnant. And if they don't want the baby up until a certain point, I think you should allow them to have the abortion. That's just my opinion, and you can disagree with me in the comments. I'm just going to say it's a more logical take, I'd think, than being like, oh, all these babies need to get born. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go?
Yeah, the adoption system and the foster care system isn't very good. You remember that couple who had 12 or 13 kids and they were chaining them up and not feeding them? And one had to escape, the little girl, and talk to a cop in order for the cop to go into the house and find out that, like, they were being horrifically abused. Well, some of those kids were put into the foster system, and they were put into a house that ended up, surprise, surprise, abusing them.
It's more common.
Not only physically, like sexually abusing them, physically abusing them.
It's more common than we'd like to see or admit, and I'm sure the numbers are very scary. And that's the thing is, at a certain point, we can either let these babies be born into what'll most likely be a bad situation, or we can just perform the medical procedure that we know how to perform. And I'm not trying to tell you how you should think. In a perfect world, I'd love to say every baby gets born and gets a beautiful home. I really would. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'd love to say that. But it's unrealistic in the world we live in. Plus, I've met a lot of these women having all these babies. Do you think they should be? Or do you think they should get fixed?
I think if the people who are against abortion want more people to be keen to it, then they need to fix the other systems first in order for them to have a better argument.
If adoption was guaranteed or more like highly likely to end up in a good situation. I understand it's not always guaranteed.
And they weren't stuck in the system.
Yep. If adoption was a system that mostly ended in success stories, I wouldn't feel this way. But I've met adopted kids. And the most successful ones I've heard, at least from my generation, are kids who were adopted from Russia. You know why? Because they were more affordable. And they had babies. That's like, I had so many people that I met from Russia. I'm 27. I've met so many people from Russia, and it's because the babies were less expensive then. I don't remember why, but I'm sure there's a reason. You guys can tell me in the comments.
They had too many of them.
So they started allowing,
a lot of those abortion centers closed down, and that they just had massive.
So they basically
influx.
offered a discount on babies, and those are the parents that really wanted a baby. They didn't care the ethnicity; they just wanted a baby.
Also, parents couldn't afford to take care of them as well.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I know a lot of people who are Russian, but adopted into families from here. And, you know, those have mostly been success stories from what I've heard. But there's still trauma connected to these kids, because they feel neglected and abandoned. Like there's so much deeper than a woman slept with a guy, didn't pay attention to her health, and now needs an abortion. In my opinion, if she really didn't pay attention to her health that long, you probably should abort the baby anyways. You think she's going to feed it?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about a similar argument. When people protest abortion clinics, I know we haven't even watched the video yet, but I just want to make this statement. People who protest abortion clinics, the people who are going in the abortion clinics who are having the abortion is because sometimes they can't take care of it or can't afford it or whatever.
Or they just know they won't want to.
Right, but the people who are protesting it aren't saying like, oh,
Give
I'll
me the baby.
I'll take your baby, right? It kind of reminds me of that open borders argument as well,
In
where
the
they're
same
like,
sense.
well, if you want these people in, the people who don't want them here have to deal with them. In order for them not to deal with them, you take them in, and that will solve half of the problem, and more people will be in your favor.
I mean, open borders are what caused these people to get pregnant, need the abortions.
There
right?
you go. It's a whole.
It's a whole cycle, right?
Yeah.
Opening borders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say it's okay to do that. And I understand that's the argument too. It's like, oh well, you made a life and now you get to murder it. I'm not saying that you get to murder it. I'm saying you are sparing some innocent life from existing in a terrible, terrible scenario. I had an ex who was on the autism spectrum. She was diagnosed with Asperger's after we broke up.
And no, Asperger's isn't a thing anymore.
And I'm not trying to bring up, like, my ex to bring up that, but she said something to me and it stuck with me. And since we're on the topic of abortion, I'm going to bring it up. Mm-hmm. She told me that I should have been an abortion while actively being in a relationship with me.
Why did she say that?
She said it with the most loving tone.
But for what?
That's what I'm going to get to. But I want to emphasize that this was said with compassion, as much as someone with autism can get compassion. Like, she's monotone. Like, she is, like, actual autism, you know?
I bet the passion was fiery in that relationship.
Point is, she said it with care. You should have been an abortion. And I looked at her, and instead of being like, what the fuck do you mean? I was like, why? She said, because your parents didn't take good care of you. Your parents neglected things that you needed. They weren't there when you needed them. They didn't care. You should have been an abortion. She wasn't telling me that she didn't want me to be alive. Mm-hmm. She's very liberal also. She wasn't telling me that I shouldn't be alive. She wasn't telling me that she didn't value me being there with her. What she was saying was, what happened to me is messed up, and it would have been better for me if I just didn't have to go through it at all than to have gone through it and end up here.
Do you think there are some people with autism who aren't liberal?
I don't know. That's not the point. That's not the point. My point is, I agree to a certain extent. Do I want my parents to have had an abortion? No. I'm glad I'm here. You're probably glad I'm here and glad I didn't. And she was glad too. She wasn't saying, man, you should have had an abortion. But the point she was making is that a bad mom or a bad father, a bad family, is almost worse than not being alive.
How would you know? You've never been not alive.
Well, I mean, anyone who's been through like a traumatizing
you don't
family
remember not
situation.
being alive.
I guess anyone who's going through a traumatizing family situation, it's their opinion. It's not a fact.
Right.
I'm
you
not
can't
saying
prove
it's a
that
fact. And all of this is based on my opinion. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that people should feel free to argue with me in the comments. I'm open to it. I'd love to hear your argument. Genuinely, that's just how I feel and what I've seen in the world. And I also know a lot of chicks who should just got an abortion.
Yeah.
They were not good moms. They're not going to be good moms.
Here we go.
And what age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
I wish this woman was on
Violet
the board.
told us when she was 1.5. She's been telling us since she could speak.
So it's a male.
So she knew since birth.
What motivated you to come out here today?
We're supporting our child, Violet, and her access to the medical care that she needs.
We're here for her rights and her ability to be who she is. She's not going to
When I
let
say
anybody
white husband.
silence her, and we're not going to stand in her way.
Are you concerned about how this case would affect Arizona, or do you think that would have an impact there?
Yes, 100% we're concerned, and we've discussed having to move, which we don't want to do, but...
Well, then why are you out there? If you have the financial ability to move to another place that does it, then why are you complaining? Because other people won't have the option to
Because black people
harm their children?
I'm so sorry. Don't you know that these white people think black people can't do anything? They can't get
my
IDs. They can't tie their shoes. I don't feel that way, but that's how they act. And what did I say from the beginning? White husband, woman wants attention for her kid being different. Wow. It's like every mother who tries to live vicariously through their child. You wanted a daughter, you got a son, you're mad about it, and now you're dressing your kid in girls' clothes. That's crazy.
Why are they concerned if they can move? I'm just like, wait.
We're here for her rights and her ability to be who she is.
We're here for her rights and the ability to be who she is.
And because we don't want to move.
Well, it's not like you can't move somewhere else if you don't have like the medication to pump your child with. You could just move to another place. So you're protesting something when you have the ability to move. You're financially capable of doing all this stuff. So you're not like really protesting for her, are you?
You're protesting so you don't have to move, right? But
That's it. You're protesting so you don't have to move, so you can continue on medically messing
attention.
with your male child.
yeah, and like I said, you're living vicariously through your child. Obviously, this mother wanted a daughter and is now pushing it out on this kid.
You see that a lot. Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? Moms want children, they want daughters and they get sons and they're like, oh, well, it's like they hear the voice in their head and they think it's the child speaking when they can barely speak and they're like, oh, they're trans.
Some women have kids to live through them.
Absolutely. More than we would like to admit.
And I think that some women have one child. And in this day and age, if it's not the kind you want, guess what?
You can change them. Yes, and then you can make them think it's their idea.
Who bought the first Barbie doll?
I have no idea.
The kid's 1.5. Who bought the first Barbie doll? I'm not like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who put the idea in their head? Who put that idea in their head?
Well, children are very easily to manipulate.
No 1.5-year-old comes out like, ah!
Yeah, you can even make adults think that's their own idea.
And if anything, most kids don't understand genitals,
No, they certainly do not.
especially at 1.5 years old.
They don't even know what sex is.
At 1.5 years old, to
Well,
be
they
like,
shouldn't. If they do,
If
we need
I
to
was-
check those parents out.
obviously I'm a woman, but if I was 1.5 years old and I saw something between my legs, I'd be like, this seems inconvenient. Why do I have this? And if my mom said because I was a boy, I'd be like, can I not be that? like it's not a logical train of thought. You allowed this train of thought to continue. You could have said it's normal, but instead you said, grab the phone, started recording. What did you say? You think that your penis should be a vagina? Good job. No. Get it on camera. Yes. Doctor. They feel like, shut up. They feel like a girl.
It's like she's looking at her 18-month-old, right?
I mean, this kid is obviously at least 9 to 10 years old.
Right, now.
Like, maybe 8 to 10 years old.
Right. But she was looking at her baby, right? Before this kid got to be kid. And she was hearing the voice in her head. Hey, Mom, I'm really a girl. I don't like this penis. I want a vagina. But really, it was a voice in her head. It wasn't coming out of the mouth of the baby. I think
definitely
these
voices that
women
go in her
are
head.
like hearing things in their head, you know?
I think it's an excuse.
Crazy cuckoo people.
I think it's just an excuse to do what you want to do. And I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think that she heard anything. I don't think she heard the kid talk. I don't think she heard a single thing.
Some people hear the voice of Jesus, but they didn't hear the voice of Jesus. It was just in their head.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Other people think that they think the CIA is following them. And they see signs that aren't there.
Guess what? The
And then they
government's
get all
listening to you anyways.
paranoid. And they're not even on the white powder. They're just, something's off. That's these parents. It's the same thing. Facts.
So,
She's not going to let anybody silence her, and we're not going to stand in her way.
Are you concerned about how this case would affect Arizona, or do you think that would have an impact there?
Yes, 100% we're concerned, and we've discussed having to move, which we don't want to do, but Violet comes first, and her medical care and her medical needs come first, so.
And what age?
She's gonna have a micro penis, and she's gonna have to stick a needle in her ass and her thigh all the time, and she's gonna have really bad bones, osteoporosis, and she's gonna have no sexual function, but she's happy.
at 9.
What?
At like 9, man. I said this started younger.
I was playing with action figures at 9. We're fighting each
When
other.
I'm the age that
I wasn't
I'm looking
like
around,
messing with my, like that
Right.
wasn't even a thought in the head. If there's a thought in that child's head about what's in between their legs and they are under their mind, it's just
makes me
abuse.
it's concerning, and if it's not something detestable, it's if it's not something physically illegal and detestable, something like that, then it's just really sad that you're pushing this down this kid's throat. You need something?
Nah,
Can I help you?
no.
You want a kiss?
Oh, see, didn't get shocked that time.
I was like, that's a lot of silence.
It's always nice to not get shocked.
I'm in a wood chair. You're the one who shocked me.
You're right. It's dangerous.
Yeah, so you would have blamed me for you shocking me if you had gotten zapped that time. But I'm in the chair.
You're in the wooden chair. Yeah,
I'm not conductive. You're conductive.
it's true. I'm electric.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Can
I close it out?
Like and subscribe, everybody.
I did nothing.
She did nothing.
If you watch this, tell me what to do next time.
Join our memberships, keep this channel going. You have any recommendations for videos we should watch? Put the link in the comment below.
Or Tweetar. Nina's
Or
on
Tweetar.
Tweetar.
We're also on Tweetar.
Nina's on Tweetar.
I'm on Tweetar.
I'm so bad with social media. I don't give a about it.
Okay, that's it. Have a good one. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your tea and crumpets or wherever you are.
You're Vegemite.
Your Vegemite. And have a good one. Bye.